Well, hello there.
Master Kenobi.
Oh, God. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend and that everybody's living life. But let's get down to brass tacks here. Before we actually do, don't forget to ring the bell, give us a like, subscribe, especially if you guys have been watching our videos and enjoying them, just because we appreciate the support. And it's always good to keep growing our rantings, our ranters following groups, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, our videos have been getting more views lately, and thank you to everybody who's been tuning in. It really means a lot to us, We're trying to grow,
Namaste, yes. I forgot what that means. It's some weird French word. Anyways,
wow.
I don't know. That's my uncultured side speaking. I don't know what that is.
Done that.
But anyways, guys, so we've had a bunch of things just drop on us this last weekend. So, if you guys saw our Top Gun review, let us know what you guys thought of it. But now we are going to talk about the first two episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the new Disney Plus series. And I'm glad to say that this one did not disappoint me, thank God. Just because Book of Boba Fett, I was still a little hesitant about that, because my whole mindset, depending if you guys liked it, cool. But me personally, I kind of despise it, just what they did with the whole story. Because I don't mind making Boba Fett, a hero of his own story, but the way they went about it just completely made him like a pansy and very just almost borderline pathetic. I mean, I'm probably being a little too harsh, but
for me, as someone who enjoyed it more than I didn't. 2 episodes in of that show, we were kind of like, what is the show going to be about? There was already, 2 episodes in, and we're like, what's the plot? Where's this story going? And that is not the case here. That this one, at least from the first 2 episodes, we definitely know where the show's going and what the plot of it is, and you're in or you're not. At this point, you're not just watching curiously like, I wonder what is going to happen next. It's like, no, we kind of have an idea of the story, and they're going to go full tilt on it in these next few episodes, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, my dude. I forgot what I was going to say for a second. I was like, wait, where am I going with this? But
you just got lost in the sauce of the boba.
I think I did. Yeah, I got lost in there, lost in the translation. But honestly, yeah, I think we definitely know what the next 4 episodes are going to be about. I think it started off explosively in a great way, and the cast is solid too, like the Inquisitors and the other characters that are important to the Skywalker saga, or at least for this story. But we do plan on doing spoilers, guys, so we're going to jump into them now. So if you guys haven't seen either of these episodes, check them out first before you come back. Unless you want to get spoiled, then that's on you. I will not be responsible for that. I put it on the titles, I put it on everywhere in the description, so you guys are reading this. But
yeah, and also at the time of that this will be dropping, episode 3 will be coming out. So there's been plenty of time to have watched these 2 episodes. So yeah, we're just gonna dive right into it.
Seriously, are you ready, Burn?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so let's get started. That first opening shot of the Order 66 from the kid, that just single shot was it's spectacular. Even though I was like, damn, this is a little too close to home because of the whole Robb Elementary shooting and stuff. Which again, it's not like they planned for that, but
no.
I'm glad that. And then I was watching Stranger Things, which we'll talk about in another review. They both had that acknowledgement of just, hey, due to the events of Texas, this is going to be sensitive for those with children or involving children. I was like, okay, that's at least it's giving that warning for the audiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want someone to come right in and coming just right off of that to have sort of that something that would trigger a response to that. So yeah, it's good that they added that little warning in the beginning to that, because yeah, it might hit too close to home for some people.
Yeah, but then it kind of jumped exactly where I thought, like, okay, now we're seeing Obi-Wan on Tatooine. He's working as a butcher and stuff like that, trying to keep a watch on Luke. And Ewan McGregor, I think they should age him up a little bit, but again, he's also ageless himself. It's kind of hard to, age him too much without making him look, weirdly old. But
Yeah, it seems like for plot purposes, you don't want him to look too geriatric.
No, but I will say
although...
this: there were some people that like commenting online, like, "Oh, like, well, this he's gonna grow from this, and then 9 years to the white," and I was like, I guess. I don't know.
Like, Star Wars has played, fast and loose with ages and how people look, whenever they're doing recasting. So I don't really care about it too much. We'll just chalk it up to, the dual sons of Tatooine just drastically aging you. I don't know if, sunscreen is a thing over there, but it might not be a thing, just the age, the sun, the UV rays, it gets you.
But I've never seen them use sunscreen, so maybe they're not so strong, but he is so unbelievably stressed in the teen years of Luke that he's just like, fuck life, why do I want to train him? And then New Hope comes around and he's like, all right, back to it. Listen, I mean, you're here, so I guess you might as well show you everything.
Yeah, 19 years of on the run and all the stress, and then, the dual sons. It's just a lot on the guy, Jedi or not, you're going to age rapidly.
But I do like, I think this is so far my favorite version of Obi-Wan that I've seen, just because I really like, again, the look is great, his hair, the beard, his like hermit look, because he's very much trying to be like a low-key person on Tatooine. I like that. Essentially what I'm really digging is that it was supposed to be the last Jedi, like it was taking a lot of inspiration from the Last Jedi, like how Luke was supposed to be, that the Jedi are dead. It's a fallen thing, get over it. But he's mostly doing it just because he's trying to just stay under the radar, just because for those of you who are just watching the show but haven't seen like the Clone Wars or maybe even Rebels or anything, or played Fallen Order, I think that's a really good point of reference for this show as well. But once Vader took over the Empire, he had a group of Sith, not Sith, but like Force-sensitive users called the Inquisitors, go after the last remaining Jedi. So, and it sounds like Obi-Wan's the last big fish, the snapper, the catfish, the white whale, as you will.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that he wants to find, the guy that left him for dead, his former master / brother in arms, the guy that trained him and brought him up in the Jedi Order, and he's the one that ended up doing the final blow that left him in the state that he is. So definitely Vader's got a bone to pick with Obi-Wan. So it seems like that's what this is sort of leading to, like they're on the hunt. Reva is the one that's like really looking for Obi-Wan, and yeah, I can imagine why. Like it seems like Vader is very much he has unfinished business.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a big surprise, like at the end of episode 2, where Reva hasn't cornered that like little docking area, I guess, with all the boxes and stuff. And she's like, he's alive. Like, you didn't know that? And it's like, huh. I thought that was an interesting thing. Like, that kind of caught me off guard too. It was like, oh, he didn't realize it. But then, if you really think about it, in episode 3, the last time you saw him, he was just dead on
He's
the
burning
lava,
alive.
Burning alive.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And then, even the New Hope, like the whole Darth Vader thing, they like New Hope and stuff. He knew who he was, but I like that this show is kind of showing this is how he finds out. Like, oh, now he's the one hunting all the Jedi. Like that it's that twist of the knife a little bit more that what he did in episode 3 by killing the younglings and the Jedi Temple. It still wasn't enough for him. That he has to go out and hunt the rest of us, kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems like it's just filling in those gaps, of like lines of dialogue that we get in A New Hope, and bridging the gap between the end of Revenge of the Sith and that. It seems like that's what they're at least trying to do with this series, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I'm really loving about these first 2 episodes is just Moses Ingram, man, as Reva, the third sister, right? I think, did I get that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I remember in the trailers, I was like, yeah, she looks cool, but like, how good is she gonna be? Because they sometimes when they start with shows or something, they'll always put this character at the forefront besides the main character, and it's like, oh, they're gonna be a big part of it, kind of like again, I've been very hesitant on this show and what it's gonna be like, but she is awesome, just such a great villain, almost very much like Anakin himself, like very rebellious, like it's my way or the highway, kind of like how Anakin used to be with Obi-Wan, especially in episode 2, with the Grand Inquisitor, which It was kind of funny when I watched it, like how all these fans and stuff, the backlash with the design and everything like that, and then episode 2, she stabs him. I was like, well, we may not have to worry about it after all.
Yeah, like, I don't know if he's dead. I don't think so, but at least he's gonna be out for the count for the rest of this series, at the very least, I think.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, or did they find another alien that replaced him as Grand Inquisitor? I don't know. We'll have to see how the rest of this plays out. By the way, just Reva, she's total badass, and I really I like seeing her so far. Like, especially in the first one, that she's taunting these people of Tatooine and trying to really get a rise out of people, which she did a great job in that bar, that little saloon
little
area.
Cantina,
Yeah, the cantina, thank you. And then she got that one tatted up Jedi to reveal himself. It was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, Benny Safdie. I don't know if you know who that is. He's one of the Safdie brothers, the directing duo that's made films like Good Time and Uncut Gems. Yeah, he appears opposite Robert Pattinson in Good Time, and yeah, it was kind of cool seeing him there. I was like, oh wow, like I didn't know he was going to be in this. It's kind of a cool surprise.
I mean, I heard of the Safdie brothers. So when you brought that up, I was like, "Oh, that's who he is." That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't realize he was a director and actor. So that's dope.
Yeah, he does. He plays both sides, But one. Oh,
that's how he comes out on top.
That's how he comes out on top. Well, I guess he didn't really. Not this time.
No, not this time. No.
But what I was going to say was, as far as the Inquisitors go, they've never been really something that I cared too much for. In the Star Wars lore. I know they were introduced in Rebels. And it seemed like an okay idea there. I didn't really have much love for them throughout the series, and the only time I've ever really liked an Inquisitor character was the second sister in the Jedi Fallen Order game. I really enjoyed that character in that game, and yeah, I have to agree. I do really like Reva's character, and as far as the group goes, she seems the one that's most Sith of the group. Like, she's the one that is willing to do whatever it takes to bring Jedis in. Like, she really does have this chip on her shoulder. She's incredibly angry, and I'm excited to dive into that character and see why she is the way she is, and why she has this really big bone to pick with Obi-Wan in particular. My speculation is that she was one of the kids, one of the Padawans in the opening of the first episode. That's my speculation, at least. Of course, her being an Inquisitor, she's either a Force user that they turn to the dark side, or a former Padawan who they've also turned to the dark side. It can go either way, but yeah, I'm eager to see more, and she doesn't play around. She takes care of business, and as far as the others go, they seem like they're like, oh, we're a little hesitant to actually do our jobs, and she's like, nah, what are you guys waiting for? They've got to go hunt these dudes down. And it's like, okay, cool. I like to see her she's actually taking action, whereas the other ones seem to be content with just sort of moseying by.
Yeah, I mean, I did get that right? That they're Force sensitive. They're not specifically Jedi or Sith, or they could have been Jedi at one point, but they were dark side, right?
They were either former Padawans that they've turned, or Force sensitive people that they've recruited into that Inquisitor group. It's either one. I know it varies for a few of them, but yeah, it's either one of those two.
For sure. Yeah, I know Obi-Wan on that one planet with Leia, he was kind of saying, no, they were Jedi Padawans who turned to the dark side. It's like, damn, that kind of sucks. And I mean, I haven't finished Jedi Fallen Order, but the Inquisitors thing I thought was kind of an interesting thing, but it's also so where have they been all this time? But you know, I think Fallen Order in this show, the in between Clone Wars stuff and this, are kind of answering what happened to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of them get killed in Rebels, so it's they were here and then they weren't there, and it's like, okay, I could give or take them, to be honest, but yeah, I do enjoy them here in this show. They add a level of a villainy that we need in the series until at least we get Vader.
Yeah, and their lightsabers are really interesting too. I'm sure I'm not the only one, because I haven't finished the game too much, and I haven't seen all of Rebels, so I'm probably with one of those major crowds that's dude, seeing the Inquisitor's lightsaber spin and then hers, it just looks very almost kind of like an old fashioned pirate sword where it had that crazy handle. You know what I mean? Or like a rapier kind of thing. So I like that feel for it. But
in Rebels they use them to fly. Like a helicopter. I don't know if they'll do it. I don't know if they'll do it in the show, but that's in canon. We'll see if they decide to do that in live action.
Okay, now like at first I thought that's cool, but now I'm like, wait, do I really want to see that? I'm just like, is that gonna look okay, or is that gonna look a little, or is it gonna be like a Yondu moment where like, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all, and you're just like flying over. And then actually to segue to my other thing that I thought was really surprising, I didn't realize Leia was gonna play such a big factor.
No, me neither. Such an awesome surprise.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, like episode 1 where. We flash forward to this planet. It's very foresty and stuff, and there's like a giant tower. It's like, it's got to be Alderaan, just because. I remember I was watching episode 3 right before. I was like, yep, that's got to be Leia, and she's a lot more rebellious and very what's the word I'm looking? Kind of almost scrappy.
Just very Leia.
Yeah, she's very very scrappy as a kid. I thought she kind of grew up maybe a little more proper just because she's a princess essentially, but. We find that she is very interested in getting off planet because she's never left before. But, and I thought it was actually pretty interesting that the Organa family, like the outside of, Senator Organa, the one who adopted her, played by, oh my God, what's his face? God damn it, it's in my head.
Jimmy Smits?
Jimmy Smits, thank you. I don't know why I forgot about him. But yeah, Jimmy Smits, he's a really good guy. He helped Yoda and Obi-Wan escape Order 66, and he took in Leia. That cousin, her interaction with that cousin that they have, very much of a dick child, just saying, "Oh, you're not true Organa." Like, fuck you, dude. Just because she's not like blood and stuff like that. Like, what an asshole.
I love how she just systematically tore him down. It's very, very much Leia, as we've seen in the original trilogy. She knows how to read people and sort of just tear them apart with words, and I like that they showed that here with her as a little girl.
But it wasn't just as simple as reading people. I think she is it's basically cementing the idea that she's been force sensitive her whole life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And, because in the originals we never really got that vibe at all, except for maybe in Return of the Jedi, where she's like, no, I sense he's alive. Like, it's like now you kind of know.
Like end of Empire, right, when she kind of like feels Luke, and
that's it. End of Empire. Yeah, they kind of hint she's starting to know that, and then Rise of Skywalker, which still frustrates me to this day. That's when we confirm she's had training and she kind of almost became a full-fledged Jedi.
Last Jedi, when she uses it to pull herself.
That's true. Last Jedi. I'm sorry, I keep getting that mixed up. But like Rise of Jedi or Rise of Skywalker confirmed, like, oh yeah, she had training. She, so. That was I'm kind of digging that idea. I love the actor for it. I don't know who's playing Leia.
Oh yeah, Vivian Lyra Blair. Yeah, she's really good. I like her a lot.
She reminds me of the girl that played Lyanna Mormont, who's going to be.
I was about to say.
they look kind of alike, but just got that same attitude of like, yeah, I'm a little girl, but don't fuck with me kind of person.
Yeah, exactly.
And I respect that. And then Flea comes out of nowhere. I thought that was one of the best cameos from any Star Wars thing.
This dude's like everywhere, man.
I think one of my other favorite cameos was Baby Driver, and then he was a really good actor in what's that movie? The one with the gay guy coming out or going to the camp or something. Russell Crowe. Shoot, it's gonna hit me later. But he was really good. It was like Russell Crowe was the dad, and then it had the kid from mid-90s.
The one that Joel Edgerton directed. Yes, I don't remember the name off the top of my head. That was a really good movie, though.
Yeah, he was a good person in that, where he's supposed to be like one of the counselors or something like that. So that was
Big
cool.
Lebowski too. I liked him in Big Lebowski.
Yeah, he didn't really talk much of Big Lebowski, but it was Flea is just he's a musician and he's an actor. Yeah, he is a treasure. Again, I thought that was another good twist, that Reva is just this, even though she's not leading the Inquisitors, she's taken charge and hunting Obi-Wan, and that's when she hired him to kidnap Leia, because like, oh, trust me, if Organa knows him, he'll have to show up kind of thing, which I was like, oh, that was a very like, damn, she's a savage, just going after Obi-Wan at any cost.
Yeah. And I will say one of the cool things about making Leia sort of like the main plot point, at least in the couple episodes so far. Is like, yeah, one, we get to finally flesh Leia out as more of a character in her younger years. Like, a lot of the Star Wars properties, we like to dwell on Luke, because he's been, the main protagonist of the original trilogy. But, Leia was always there too, and it felt like she never really got her just due. And then they did try to flesh her out later on, and I do like there was that bait and switch, in the trailers where we saw Luke, playing outside of his home, and I thought, okay, this is probably going to center around young Luke somehow. But yeah, it being about Leia was a nice surprise because it does flesh her out a little bit more, and it does flesh out Alderaan more too. It's a planet that all we saw was get destroyed in the beginning of A New Hope, so there wasn't really much attachment to it. But seeing it here as like a very thriving society, and Jimmy Smith and like the little political intrigue that's going on there, it does a little bit more to give it more weight when we see that planet destroyed in A New Hope. I think, at least.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. It kind of makes it that part in episode 4 a little harder to watch. Where it's like, we have no weapons, please, we're peaceful. Is like, but he just blasted away, and it was like, damn, you just killed an entire planet with whoever's left on it. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Let me see what else I really like, and then who do you think like when Obi-Wan is confronted by Senator Organa on Tatooine, who do you think the other lightsaber was, or could you tell whose it was? And honestly, because I know he's going back for his when he has to kind of like get his stuff, but I wonder who the other one was. That supposed to be for Luke, maybe?
The two lightsabers that he had in the little case, you mean?
Yeah, I think it had to be like Anakin's, right?
Yeah, that was his lightsaber. Yeah, and that was Anakin's lightsaber. Because remember, he grabs it, he picks it up after he leaves, Anakin to die on Mustafar. He picks up his lightsaber and he takes it. So it seems like that's what he did. He took both of them and then, buried them in the desert when he decided to cut himself off from the Force.
Yeah, that was one thing I was like, I just wanted to be sure of, because some people, again, I saw comments online like, who else's would it be? And it's just maybe started questioning it, like,
it wouldn't be it wouldn't be anybody else's.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. And just again, like I said, Obi-Wan, like, I think the set design and just whoever the showrunners were for this one, they really nailed down the story for Obi-Wan, like how he's living. He literally is like a hermit, like in the original trilogy said, with his cave and kind of taking meat from his butcher job just to kind of feed himself a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And the Jawas, man, I didn't realize how savage they were, but when one
Tika.
comes in, yeah, just like something like your evaporator's having issues. I got a part for you. It's like,
oh yeah, what do you know? The part that was stolen. There's one right here.
Exactly. It's like, if you're gonna steal parts, can you please clean them up for me? He's like, cleaning's extra. I was like, you little thief! Like, goddamn you guys! I would have just kicked you out. Like, get out of here. Give me my stuff back. I mean, we kind of got a hint of it in Mandalorian and other stuff, but I'm like, still, just the blunt savagery behind it. Like, wow, I kind of have to respect it.
Yeah, all that stuff was great. Just seeing Obi-Wan, like you said, living as a hermit. This guy, this former general, one of the best Jedi of the Clone Wars era, is now just sort of down on his luck. He's lost his faith, and he's working just in line, like at a butcher, like this like butcher site that we see. It looked like, I don't think that was a crate dragon, right? That was like some sort of like sand shark or something. It looked like. I
think so. I think it was supposed to be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like he's just like working like an everyman job, and then retreating to this cave where he lives on his own, and has like dealings with Jawas that go get scraps for him. It's like, dude, man, like it's really hard to see him on his luck, and I mean, Ewan plays it so well. Just this dude who's just really defeated, and we see it, both in his like acting and just in the environments we see him in. It just all works so well.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing I will kind of say, it was a little contradictory of itself, given it makes sense for the plot, is like when that runaway Jedi finds him, he knew where he was at on Tatooine. It's like, first off, how could he find him, but the Inquisitors can't? Like, are they just that bad at their jobs, kind of thing? But
he followed him from the town. He says he saw him in the town at some point, and I guess he followed him back home. So I just watched it again, and yeah, that there was that line of dialogue where he said, "I saw you in the town, and then this and that," and I was like, okay, so that's how he found him. Because yeah, me too. I was like, how did he he's like in the middle of the desert? Like, how did he find him? But yeah, that's how he did.
I was just thinking, like, so is it, like, where Jedis can sense each other easily compared to these other, like, maybe Sith and, like, Force-sensitive dark side users, they can't kind of thing? But then it's like, nah, that's a whole murky water we're gonna kind of trying to dissect, but...
Yeah, because that would mean he would be open, to the Force, but it's like, it seems like he's cut himself off, and that's kind of what's kept him under the radar, that no one can sense him at this point.
Yeah, like, we saw him, not only just kind of tell that kid, just listen, stay low. That's all we can do. We're done. What are we going to do against the Empire?
The fight's over.
Yeah, and then, when he goes to save Leia, I will say that was some great action sequences. Like, even though he was hurting himself when he was fighting, like, the bounty hunters and stuff, he still got it. It's like, damn, Obi-Wan, you got this, man.
He's got to shake the rust off a little bit, like him in the hand-to-hand combat scenes. It's like, okay, like he's still got that old fighter in him, but it's been 10 years, so he's not all the way there yet.
Yeah, and he hasn't used his saber in years, so he was a little reluctant to use it. But we got to definitely see that he's cut himself off from the Force when Leia fell between the buildings, and he struggled to catch her last minute, kind of like not catch her, but just like slow her down. Whereas like back in the day, he probably would have been able to lift her up like Yoda would have, and just put her on there. So I thought that was a nice little story touch up.
What'd you think of that clone trooper? That we see begging for money. It was like,
that was fucked up. Like, I was like, oh man. Given I mean, again, if you guys haven't seen the shows and the other stuff, like, I think Clone Wars really explains it, especially the last season where Order 66 happens. These clones were embedded with they had like a physical, like, organic chip in their brains to really trigger, like, they were programmed to do stuff. They didn't want to do it. They had no choice to do it, except for Rex and a handful of other clones and the Bad Batch. They were able to override that programming and live their lives. But we kind of see this, trooper, played by Tamara Morrison, of course, just really down on his luck, and just almost... It's a good little almost similarity of, like, soldiers from Vietnam or something like that coming... Just soldiers in general coming home and have nothing to come home to. They're just completely just helpless by society and stuff. So
yeah, because at this point they've all been decommissioned and tossed aside, by the Empire. Like they've got stormtroopers now. They have no need for the clone army. So yeah, it was kind of like a good bit of world building for people who aren't too in the know of like things that happen in Clone Wars and Rebels. It was a nice like visual thing to be like, oh okay, yeah, like there's still clones rolling around out there, but they're just doing their own thing now. They're just kind of tossed to the side.
Yeah, and I guess the last thing that really I thought was pretty enjoyable, but also just messed up too, is Kumail Nanjiani's character. Just this freaking grifter of a guy, where he's bringing his mom and daughter into this room, pretending to force close these shades. It's like, dude, this is coming off so bad. Acting is so bad.
Just like, totally overselling it. Like,
yeah, just listen. You need to get these people there. And like, we're trying to use he knows ways of the Jedi, which is interesting.
He's familiar.
My theory is that maybe he was a Jedi at one point, like a kid. Maybe he was one of those group of kids that escaped, but because he was so young and just so cut off from it, he's just like, I don't remember it really, or I don't know how to use it anymore. And I just kind of, like, he just gave up. He kind of had to conform to the rest of society and be like, no, I'm not going down that way. Either way, I just thought his interaction with Obi-Wan was hilarious. Just for a Jedi, he got snuck up and was like, hey, how'd you get in here? And a lot of magnets and buttons. Is like, hey, that's not it. Just complete coward. But he ended up redeeming himself when he helped Leia and him escape, just saying, like, listen, the jet, like, I'd rather help you. Like, what do I have to lie about? I hope we see him again. I hope he kind of has another part in this series or something like that.
I think they will. Because, like you said, there does seem to be some familiarity with him and the Jedi. Whether he was a former Padawan at some point, we don't really know because of, his grift being a fake Jedi. But he does mention, when he finds a way out for Obi-Wan and Leia, that there are people who are willing to help them. So I think, at the very least, he's probably linked to a group that's the beginnings, at least, of the Resistance. That's my theory. And, because he does say he's sending these people to safety, the people that he's kind of conning. Like, he's not necessarily conning them and sending them to bad places. He's just taking their money for, himself and at the same time, actually getting them out of, the whatever trouble that they're in. So I think he has some ties.
Position.
Yeah, exactly. Like he says, have I done bad things? Yes. Do I feel bad at it? Sometimes. But he likes credits. He wants to get his bag. But I do think at least I think we'll see him again. Definitely. Someone like Kumail. Like, you don't just have him come in, show up one time. So I do think the people that he's sending Obi-Wan and Leia to, I think, are at least the beginnings of the Resistance. That's at least my working theory.
Yeah, like I said, I so far this show has basically. I mean, I have very small hopes for this show, just because I just want it to be good and nothing more. I didn't really was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Like I kind of was after the second trailer mostly, but I was like, let's see where it goes. I mean, so far they haven't failed. We got 4 more episodes coming out, so another month of Star Wars, which is always great. But that ending shot of episode 2 where Obi-Wan finally knows the truth, and you just see Vader just grimacing under his little breather in that like water, the bacta tank, I guess.
The bacta tank, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's specifically a bacta tank. I assume it is because it's all water and stuff. I don't know. Call it what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it serves the same function, to help him heal from his god awful wounds.
All I know is if I saw him, I would just be like, "And a good day to you, sir." Is he still right? Well, yes, but he's right now. No, it's like, oh well, Vader. It's just a real honor to meet you, sir. Very scary, but you're really cool. Just a whole Lebowski moment with him. But yeah, man, I can't wait for it. I just hopefully the rest will be as good, if not better, than these first 2 episodes. That's all I'm gonna end with.
Yeah, this was. For me, this was one of my most anticipated, anythings of this year. I'm a huge Obi-Wan fan. Him being my favorite character in all of Star Wars. Ewan is great, so it's great to see him back. But so I was on board for the show to begin with, and so far, I'm not disappointed. This is exactly what I was hoping to see, and a little bit of stuff that I wasn't expecting. Especially with the whole Leia storyline, which again, it's a really cool surprise that we got that. And one of the things I was worried about, coming in was just we're gonna get to just Tatooine again. I kind of want to get like outside of Tatooine, and it seems like that for the most part that's the case. At least we got like 3 different planets here. We got Tatooine, we got to see Alderaan, which was cool, and then we got this planet Daiyu, which was like the Star Wars Hong Kong seedy underground. With the neon signs and stuff, that was really cool. So I hope we do get more of that, and in the coming episodes, seeing a lot of different corners of the Star Wars universe. Although I will say, thematically, Tatooine does work pretty well for the state that Obi-Wan is in. But for him to come back, and become the Obi-Wan that we know and love, he's got to go on his journey. So that's got to take him places, I think.
I was ready for 6 episodes of just slow burn, him just walking back and forth through the desert. I was prepared for that. Just like
entire episodes dedicated to just traveling from one side to the other.
Imagine,
just is so hot.
Yeah, just be like, just like, oh my god, I'm so excited. 2 minutes later, just.
Like in the initial seasons of Game of Thrones, where it took characters a whole season to travel from one place to the other. That's what this is going to be. Just Obi-Wan to and from work.
Exactly. Anything else that stood out to you, Bern, or you want to praise before we finish up?
Nah, man. It's just it's really cool. I like this take on Obi-Wan, and I think Ewan is getting some real good material to work with. I will say, as much as I do enjoy the prequels, because I did grow up with them, I can recognize that they weren't the best material for the actors involved to work with. So for him to be able to flex his acting chops, and the other actors in the show too, Joel Edgerton, and that scene with him in the courtyard was great. Just so just seeing a lot of them pulling the drama out of these characters is what I'm here for. All the action and stuff is just icing on the cake. So it's like, yeah, I'm here for the character, the deep stuff, and
I thought you were gonna say priceless. I thought you were gonna say priceless. I was like, I'm sorry, what is priceless? But
that was just getting tongue tied. I was gonna say the icing, and sometimes I was gonna say fries. It's the fries with the burger. And it just ended up being the two words combined, priceless. Icing on the cake, and the good fries on the side.
If you are gonna get tongue tied burn, at least it's with something as awesome as Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So guys, if what'd you guys think of the first couple episodes? Are you excited for the rest of it, or is it meh to you? We would love to know. Let us know in the comments. So what's your favorite part so far? What do you hope to see? Any other cool cameos, maybe from the greater Star Wars universe, especially within the Skywalker saga / Republic to Empire era? We would love to know, and stay tuned, because we're also going to be reviewing Stranger Things coming up. There's a lot of good content coming out, guys. And then Jurassic World next week. Hopefully it'll be good. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
I'm a little, just on the little... It's like if I'm a trapeziest, that's where I'm at. I'm going to teeter one side or another. But until next time, guys, stay bodacious and keep on ranting as always. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and may the Force be with you.